Skool Games winner Nick made $3.6 million a year solo with 95% profit. As another Skool Games winner who made $45,000 in 11 days, I know these strategies work. If you're overwhelmed building your business and want fast, predictable Skool community sales without a huge team, this video is your blueprint. I'm breaking down Nick's exact solo playbook with actionable steps so you can copy-paste his proven system for your own Skool community success. To start, let me show you his ruthless engagement strategy. Most creators, once they hit a certain size, disappear. They hand off their community management, they delegate, and they become a distant figure. They think that's how you scale. But Nick's data tells a different story. He's probably the most active community owner on Skool, showing up almost every single day for 400 days straight. Whilst most leaders on Skool Games leaderboard average around 15 daily activities, Nick averages 200 activities a day. His performance isn't surprising when you look at the level of dedication. This isn't just about presence, it's about being the person your members joined for. He firmly believes that communities are about people, and you, the owner, are the primary person. This daily engagement isn't just a nice to have, it's critical. It reduces churn like crazy, builds massive goodwill, and gives him 24/7 exposure to his audience's real problems, which fuels his content and product improvements. And it sets an example that skyrockets engagement in others. He literally says it's paying many dividends in the future, beyond the money he's making now. He calculates his hourly rate at $7,000 and thinks it's hard to get a higher rate unless you're the CEO of Facebook. That's serious leverage. Now you're probably thinking, how the hell do you respond to every post with 2,600 members? This is where his first principles thinking kicks in. He asks, how much time does a single community member take to manage? And found it takes him 0.021 minutes per member per day. That's how he gets it down to just over an hour a day. Here's the system you can literally copy paste. Batch responses. He responds to nearly every new post once every 24 hours, but he does it in one single batch, not in spurts throughout the day. He says treat it like your email inbox. He does voice transcription. He uses tools like Aqua or Whisperflow. Why? Because the average person types at 40 words per minute but speaks at 160 words per minute. That's 3 to 4x the bandwidth, and he finds the natural speaking style more authentic. This saves him massive time. He batches categories. He'll open all introductions threads in new tabs, respond to them all, then move to bugs and Q&A and do the same. This minimizes context switching, a huge performance optimizer. He clocks it at about 1 post a minute. If someone asks a follow-up question, he encourages them to create a new thread or a new post. This allows him to easily filter by unread. He even used the Chrome extension before Skool had the feature. If another member has already chimed in with a response, he simply replies underneath with this or +1. It saves him time and publicly rewards members for engaging. Encourage community help. Now, by responding every 24 hours, he leaves space for the community to help each other first. I think this is genius for engagement. This isn't fancy strategy, it's what he calls brute force caveman engagement. If you show up every day for anything, you will inevitably succeed, and Skool is no exception. This simple, consistent habit is the highest ROI thing you can do. Now, if you're thinking, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually monetize all that engagement without drowning in extra work? Well, that's where I come in. I've literally monetized my entire community and I barely spend an hour a week running it. And as we speak, I am building a new community in a different niche. You'll find out about it soon. But if you'd like to work with me, I'll leave you a link below. But here's the thing, even with incredible engagement, if your offer isn't positioned right, you'll burn out fast. Nick didn't just pick a niche, he created one that guarantees ROI. And that brings us to the next point, which changed the game for him. Let me explain. A lot of people see Nick's Maker Skool, see AI in the name, right? They think it's just a B2C play, but that's a mistake that costs thousands. Nick saw the crowded market of AI communities and thought differently. He asked, how can I turn this into a business guarantee? So he converted a B2C promise into a much easier to justify B2C promise. Instead of learn all about AI, his core offer is get your first paying customer for an AI service in 90 days or your money back. That's not just a product, it's a promise with a clear ROI and a guarantee. AI in this context is just a vehicle, a means to an end, and the end is money. This isn't about becoming an AI expert, it's about making money with AI. This market of one strategy makes it simple for potential members to justify the investment in their heads. It means a significantly higher conversion rate because the value is undeniable. I pay X, I get Y dollars back. Guaranteed. So here's how you apply this. Take your existing B2C problems, whether they're interest-based, technology-based, or curiosity-based, and convert them into B2C problems. Don't just offer learn about X. Instead, offer learn how to make money with X, and ideally get this specific monetary outcome with X. The first generates some interest, the second is a justifiable expense, but the third, that's a clearly formulated offer that guarantees you'll attract buyers, not just browsers. This is how you differentiate yourself in a crowded market and ensure people see your community as an investment, not just another cost. But all that genius means nothing if you never start. Nick's next principle cuts through analysis paralysis like a hot knife through butter, and it's something I had to learn the hard way too. Nick has a powerful mindset. He says, every day I do not act, I am costing myself X amount of dollars. This cuts through the silent killer of indecision. I remember when I launched my first course before school, I was obsessed with having every single course module pre-recorded, perfectly polished. It added months to my launch. Actually, I spent 8 months making that course. Crazy. And frankly, I almost burnt out before I even started making money from that course. What Nick did and what I eventually learned is that you have to get into the arena. He launched really quickly and considers it one of the main reasons he was able to get out of his own way and focus on daily actionables. Here's his bare bones launch playbook. 1. You need immediate commitment. He created a blank community immediately and paid the $97 a month school fee. This pre-commitment forced him to move forward. Then we have minimal assets. He spent just 20 minutes on Canva creating simple white on black assets. He admits minimalism was an affordable way to hide his lack of design skills. No need for perfection. Live program. His first program in the classroom module was called 14-Day Agency. The idea is he'd record it live 1 day at a time after launching. Just 2 hours of prep before launch. That's it. Seed members and posts. He invited 20 followers and connections from YouTube and X asking for feedback, not selling. This brought them on the journey and made them feel valued. He asked them to make intro posts about their AI experience, getting him his first 10 to 15 posts solving the dreaded blank page problem for new members. Then he made the group public. He priced it low to start at $28 a month. Organic and soft pitch. He had a few thousand YouTube subscribers, so he just added his community link to all his organic content. His content strategy is 99% value, 1 ask. The attributes being the highest dollar per subscriber in his space to the soft pitch approach. Iterate with feedback. After launch, he DM'd people asking what they thought of the first few days, using that feedback to create the rest of his program. Value-based pricing increases. He added a weekly community call 1 hour and then slowly increased the price as he added more assets like templates, videos, and recordings. This creates a logical churn reduction mechanism. Nick says your launch doesn't really matter. It's just a box you check. The faster you do it, the faster you can start immediately iterating. The real beast is establishing the habit of doing things 80% right every single day for a year. So if you're on the fence, just launch ASAP. And honestly, once you've launched, that's when you hit the real fork of the road. Do you just keep posting for free, or do you turn that momentum into actual upgrades and revenue? So if you need help with that, check the link in the description. Okay, so you're in, you've launched, you're showing up, but how do you structure this thing so it actually runs like a well-oiled, highly profitable machine? This is where Nick's community structure really shines. Nick's approach to calls is pure genius. For 80% of Maker's Skool lifespan, he only did 1 call a month. His goal is to minimize calls as much as humanly possible. Why? Because most members don't join. Only about 20% of them show up. If they do, they're often there for synchronous fluff, not actionable density. Calls are a time sink for you and a low ROI activity for them. He views them as not the highest value activity. Period. Now, with about 2,600 members, he does a weekly call, and a friend/sales trainer joins every 2 weeks for a hands-on sales session. That's 6 calls a month. On his calls, everyone's muted. Faces are hidden and questions are asked in the chat. He goes top to bottom for an hour. That's it. But here's the real differentiator. Loom videos. He records 4 to 8 Loom roasts a day, each about 2 minutes long, to reply to comments. It's scalable, significantly more than live calls. Members watch on their own time. Hyper-personalized, solves 80% of what a call does for individuals. High information density. You can refer to them weeks or months later by link in the post. These are standalone assets. Many of these short looms have tens of thousands of views, unlike his longer call recordings. He admits his other categories are pretty standard, but his wins category is absolutely essential. This is peak showing, not telling. It's one thing for you to tell someone they'll get ROI, it's another for them to see hundreds of others getting positive ROI. He focuses on getting people to post in the wins category as often as possible because it irons out a million small problems, keeps the group focused on the core mission. It provides hundreds of relatable case studies of members getting their first clients. He recommends pinning 1 to 2 new wins posts every 48 hours to create a constant feel of everyone is winning. So no onboarding calls here. He offloads it to a simple welcome post that encourages commenting on 3 other posts, reviewing a pre-compiled list of members' wins, starting the pre-program. This creates mini relationships early on, increasing stickiness. It's the 80-20 rule in action, focusing on high impact, low effort strategies. Make a Skool thrives on daily accountability. Nick structures all classroom modules as daily actionables, with folders like day 1, day 2, embedding tasks directly. He constantly reinforces the do every day on schedule rule because the real learning is habit related, not just AI. To make it stick, he logs future months until you've been in the program that long. This is a genius churn reducer. You need to stay for 2 months to access month 2 content. He'll make exceptions for those with pre-existing businesses, but generally it's part of the business model. He includes his group's price in the about section of the sidebar. Why? Because giving members visibility on how much others are paying, especially higher, newer prices, makes them more likely to stay as they see the discount they're getting. He also has an add everyone on socials page for relationship building, serendipitous meetups, and scaling his LinkedIn and Instagram even if members join for a short time. Nick's whole ethos is no gatekeeping. So how does he justify a program that costs over $2,000 a year when he gives everything away for free on YouTube? Well, you've got community exclusives. Once a week, he creates a written or recorded asset, often a 30-minute stream of consciousness or yap session on a community struggle he's noticed from his daily engagements. It takes him about 40 minutes to create and provides immense value, once again reducing churn. Plus, for an AI/automation community, he gets vendor discounts and adds them to the program, creating an immediate ROI for members. For example, pay $184 and get $500 in platform X credits. He used to respond to DMs daily, inbox zero style, but found it ineffective. Now he batches them once a week when the last DM is about 7 days old. Most simple questions can be solved with a little thinking, and immediate answers just lead to more questions. Historically, his DMs break down as 1 out of 8 refund requests, 4 out of 8 wrote questions, which he points back to community answers, 2 out of 8 thank yous, and 1 out of 8 business opportunities. Nick has never used the levels feature. Instead, he offers a 15-minute one-to-one with him after 6 months in the program. This has massive perceived value because members join in parts for him, but the majority don't actually take him up on it, maybe because of nerves or fear. So he gets the perception of providing value without much fulfillment. The members who take it are ambitious, often turning into friendships or future high-ticket coaching clients. He batches these on Fridays, usually 1 to 2 calls. It's free upside with little downside. This level of focus and execution is only possible if you kill the noise. And this brings us to his very important principle. Nick, as one of the top Skool community owners, gets pitched all day long. New business models, software, marketplaces. It's like 1,000 shiny objects screaming for his attention. But he has a single money button, make a Skool. And his rule is simple. Almost all other opportunities make less money than just focusing on that core product. He finds that most of these strategic suggestions are suboptimal. For example, building a $50 a month software product and selling it to 20% of his 2,600 members would add only $26,000 or $27,000 a month, just 9% of his gross. He asks, why not just make a Skool 9% better? It would take less time and it's something I'm good at doing. He believes many Skool communities get bogged down in unnecessary distractions, losing sight of the core product, which is their community. The goal isn't to choose every new idea, it's to master the few things that actually move the needle. So for you, this means ruthless filter. Before adopting a new tool, strategy, or opportunity, ask yourself, does this directly make my core offer 10% better? Or will it take me away from the daily brute force engagement that actually builds my community and my income? Focus less on fancy strategy and more on the foundational elements: talking to customers, solving their needs, and consistently showing up. And here's the thing, most Skool community owners already have their own money button, but they don't realize it. They're sitting on upgrades and add-ons that could instantly add revenue if framed the right way. I've been there. I was leaving money on the table. One of the latest things we had to change was switching our community from monthly and annuals to literally just annuals. So we now have all our community at about 80% annuals, and we only accept new members as annual members. So if you need help to implement the same thing for your community, I'll leave you a link below. Now let me show you the ultimate principle, one that underpins everything Nick does. And it's a hard truth most people don't want to hear. Nick openly admits he's not a strategic person. He's consistent, and he believes that over enough time, consistency always beats strategy. He says if you could delete 90% of his entire post, and if you walked away with just this one idea, it would outshine all of his other recommendations. His $300,000 a month success, his Skool games win, it all comes down to showing up every single day for a long period of time. Planning only gets you so far. The real growth comes from actually interfacing with the market, your customers, your target audience, and using that feedback to improve your product. Showing up is the hammer that turns everything into a nail. He says you can launch an absolutely terrible community on day one. He did, but if you show up daily and make it even 1% better every time, it's just a matter of time. So stop chasing the next secret strategy. Stop trying to optimize everything before you even have data. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to build the habit of brutal daily consistency. Get in the arena, launch, show up, listen, adjust, repeat. That's how you build generational wealth on Skool, just like Nick. You've just seen how Nick built a $3.6 million a year Skool machine. But here's the catch. If your community feels dead, none of this works. So click here and I'll show you the 7 secrets that turned my ghost town Discord into a $45,000 MRR in just 11 days and win the Skool games.